I'm kissing Rachel.
I know, I'm her.
They were 6 friends who became family.
Are you all really nervous?
Terrified.
And then a phenomenon.
This is the best job we could ever have.
Tonight, the night before their final show, we say farewell to Friends.
It's just been a great run.
And the people who brought them to life.
Thought Chandler was the gay character of the show.
Sometimes I wish I was a lesbian. Did I say that out loud?
They became our friends, and we watched their stars rise.
How has it been handling the dual fame in your relationship?
It's a challenge.
Tonight, they're all here, reliving an amazing 10 years.
Of course, it wasn't what I expected it to be.
What you expected it to be?
Is there a problem? Is there a problem with me or with you?
Remembering the struggle to carry on when real life wasn't so funny.
If you look at some of those episodes, do you think you can tell that something was troubling you?
Probably, yeah.
Sharing the stories.
I thought he was so dang cute.
And the secrets you've never heard.
Now the truth comes out.
Katie Couric and Matt Lauer bring us A Farewell to Friends, a Dateline special.
Hi, everybody. Tonight we say goodbye to Ugly Naked Guy, Marcel the Monkey, and a certain coffee shop that always had the center couch reserved for our friends. More than that, we say goodbye to 6 unforgettable people who were there whenever we needed a good laugh or sometimes a good cry.
Tonight we will talk to the cast of Friends, relive some classic moments, and go behind the scenes one last time. But first, there was a very real chance we wouldn't be celebrating this show at all. 10 years ago, TV executives didn't think that Friends was a sure bet. Could they have been any more wrong?
God, that is good TV.
For 10 years, it's been some of the best, most watched TV. Along the way, we got to share amazing moments with 6 good friends. We watched them as teenagers.
Shut up. The camera adds 10 pounds.
So how many cameras are actually on you?
Saw them get married and almost married.
Hi, Ross. Take the Emily. Take the Rachel.
Have babies, married or not.
1, 2, 3.
And fall in and out of love.
I'm kissing Rachel.
I know, I'm her.
Just like real friends, just like real life, just a little bit funnier.
Welcome to the real world. It sucks. You're gonna love it.
I come in and I say to the crew, oh my God, we're so lucky, everybody. This is the best job we could ever have.
I find myself like leaning towards the windshield to get to work, you know what I mean? As opposed to just, oh, I have to go do this again. And that's for 10 years.
10 years and 236 episodes, all shot on stage 24 at Warner Brothers Studios in Burbank. A remarkable run.
And now that I know that it's truly over, I think I'm worried about being overwhelmed.
I'm just terrified. I don't want it to end at all.
It's the end not just of a sitcom, but of something that's been a big part of our pop culture. Remember when every girl had to have this haircut? When every radio played this song?
Embarrassed, they were very nice boobies.
And now, nearly everyone delivers a punchline just like Chandler Bing.
I mean, that's it. I mean, mittens are nice.
Okay, Rock. Hard place. Me.
There are 5 people who I've really grown to really love.
We were like 6 pieces of a puzzle that just felt like, okay, this works.
Shut up! Shut up! Cut it out! Me. I've never wanted you more.
Sure, we take all this for granted now, but as you're about to see, 10 years ago, Friends was almost a very different kind of show.
So there was an element of panic, I think, that, oh my God, now what?
Kevin Bright, Marta Kaufman, and David Crane created Friends at a low point in their careers. A sitcom of theirs, Family Album, had just been canceled by CBS. The future seemed very uncertain. The story goes that you became a little nostalgic and you start to think about, you know, what the beginnings of the business were like and what it was like to get out of college and live in New York, and some light bulb went on.
And we were looking at that time where the future was more of a question mark. Maybe because that's what we were feeling in that moment, but looking at that question mark and going, well, that's interesting. Everybody knows that feeling.
Out of that feeling came this 7-page pitch in December of 1993 for a show then called Insomnia Cafe. NBC bought the idea, but as Kaufman and Crane began to write the pilot script for a show now titled Friends Like Us, some early plans started to shift. The biggest, a love story pitched to NBC that never made it to the screen.
Initially, we thought the big love interest was Joey Monica. This was before we'd written the script. This is when we were just pitching the series.
They just seemed like the most sexual of the characters.
We didn't know when we pitched the show about the idea of Ross and Rachel. That was something we discovered as we were writing it.
More changes came with casting. Producers wanted Courtney Cox for the role of Rachel, but she said no. She wanted to play Monica. Did it take long for you to agree with her?
She had this cheery up energy, and we thought, well, that's not how we envisioned Monica. And then she came in and did it, and we went, huh.
She got the role, and then Matt LeBlanc put a different spin on Joey when he auditioned.
When we wrote it, I don't think we realized that Joey was dim, and that was going to be a major source of comedy, and
that he had heart.
Yeah. Matt LeBlanc says that he thought the script sucked. Yeah,
you know what?
I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry. I slipped.
Hey, buddy.
I slipped. That was a pure slip of the tongue.
We didn't want him.
You didn't want him?
They pushed
shoved down our throats.
This was the network's.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
One favor we had to do for them.
Thanks for coming to our party. Later, we'll hear more from the cast about how they got their jobs. Meanwhile, NBC liked the pilot script and ordered up the series, now with yet another title, 6 of 1. Shooting began in the summer of 1994. Audiences were given this rundown to read so they could follow a show with 6 different main characters. The young cast of relative unknowns talked about their roles in this promotional video, seen for the first time in 10 years.
I think he's a hopeless romantic. He wants to be married again.
I'm a little wary of people, but at the same time, I've got a close bunch of friends who come over and rely on me.
And felt good about the new show's chances.
It's exciting. It's very exciting. This time, I feel like just all the right elements are in line.
You don't know what it's going to be and what's going to happen next. So you've got to, if nothing else, just commit to whatever you're doing.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm excited. You don't know. It's kind of, could be anything. It could end tomorrow. It could go on forever.
Suddenly, NBC began to get nervous. Executives now worried the coffee house setting was too hip and wanted the show in a diner, like Seinfeld. And get this, NBC thought the cast was too young. The network pushed for an older character who could give sage advice to the kids.
We even tried, at one point, we even wrote a draft of an early episode that had, oh God, some cop who came in and just, we were like, looking at it going, this is terrible.
You know the children's book, Pat the Bunny? Yeah. We had Pat the Cop.
Yeah.
NBC dropped both ideas, but there was one more problem. In the pilot, Monica is dumped by a guy after sleeping with him on their first date.
Morning.
Morning, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Hi, Paul, is it?
The network worried that viewers wouldn't like Monica for that, so they handed out this survey to the pilot audience, asking if the storyline was offensive and should be changed.
The survey cards were handed out to find out, do you think for sleeping with a man on the first date, Monica's A, a whore, B, a slut, you know?
A tramp,
B, your dream date.
Or
Yeah.
D, all of the above.
Yeah. And it turned out people liked her.
They did. They liked her.
NBC backed off, and the show, now at last called simply Friends, premiered on September 22nd, 1994.
You never knew she was a lesbian.
It was an instant hit, seen by nearly 22 million people.
Sometimes I wish I was a lesbian. Did I say that out loud?
I just want to be married again.
And I just want $1 million.
Now Friends is about to go out the way it came in, on top of the comedy heap. The magic was there from the very beginning. The real trick was that it kept going for so long. Let me read you from the original treatment, the pitch, okay? It's about sex, love, relationship, careers, a time in your life when everything's possible, and it's about friendship, because when you're single and in the city, your friends are your family. Is that what Friends has delivered for 10 years?
This was one of those things where the idea was very clear to us. I mean, the writers still make fun of us because it's like, oh, when you're in your 20s, your friends are your family. But that's the show.
And that was the show. For 10 years, a group of friends that we got to know like friends. Throughout our program tonight, we'll tell you some things you may not know about Ross, Phoebe, Joey, Monica, Chandler, and Rachel, and the people who brought them to life, as we say goodbye to Friends.
Coming up, can he leave Ross Geller behind?
It would be nice to play somebody polar opposite.
Yeah.
You know, who wasn't lovable, neurotic, and geeky, but who was...
psychotic, lovable, and geeky.
Yeah.
David Schwimmer on Life Beyond Friends. Plus, throughout our show, some scenes we missed. We now return to A Farewell to Friends. Here again is Katie Couric.
He was Friends' first breakout star. But for those who knew David Schwimmer way back when, that was no surprise. He was always serious, talented, and driven to succeed. He even founded a theater company when he was still in college. So what will he do now that he's a multi-million-dollar TV superstar without a show? Anything he wants.
Yeah, for some reason, there's no fear for me. I'm not at all afraid. I'm more excited than anything. I mean, it's just been a great run, you know, and I think all of us feel like we've reached our time to move on.
He played the geek who somehow got the girl. For David Schwimmer, playing the romantically challenged Ross wasn't much of a stretch, and the producers knew it. He was the first of the Friends to be cast.
Your character, Ross, was the first one really written as part of the ensemble with you in mind as a lovable, neurotic geek.
Yeah.
What did you say? Gee, I'm so flattered.
Yeah, I was like, that's me.
You had no problems with that?
No, I mean, there was definitely part of me that identified with that aspect of the character. The neurotic, kind of lovable loser. And if you see pictures of me in high school, especially, 12, 13, 14 years old, I mean, you'll completely understand why.
It's hard for me to believe, because I look at you now, you look very GQ. You got product in your hair. You look very stylish.
Well, it's about 35 surgeries. Like I had a baby face, like, no hair on my chest, but for some reason I had like a little mustache, I was like, this is great. Braces, headgear, mustache, overweight, I was a lady killer.
You were a total stud.
So even the camera guy's laughing. Yeah, laugh away, laugh it up.
David might have found it funny if he hadn't been growing up in the mecca of physical perfection, Beverly Hills, California. His parents were both lawyers. His mom even handled Roseanne's first divorce. After high school, David almost followed in the family's footsteps until he enrolled in a summer acting program at Northwestern University outside Chicago.
Do you ever regret not being a lawyer?
Not for a moment.
Yeah, there are not many people out there who say, gee, I wish I'd become a lawyer.
I got to play one on TV.
That was in 1994 on a very short-lived comedy called Monty, starring one-time sitcom icon Henry Winkler. But the 6 years David spent trying to succeed in show business were anything but happy days.
You made a lot of attempts to break into Hollywood that were not so successful. I mean, at some point were you like, ugh, I just need to pack my bags and hit the road?
No, I never thought about quitting. I need to take a break every now and then. You know, when I came out after graduating from Northwestern, I thought, well, I'll come out in 3 months, I'll be making millions of dollars as a movie star. Like, I really believed that.
You did?
Absolutely.
What were you smoking?
Well, no, you know, like, when I graduated Northwestern, I was at the top of my game, you know, and
you thought, I'm the man.
I was like, yeah, I was the man, along with my colleagues in the theater company. We were it, you know, so I thought, yeah, I'll come out to L.A., I'll take that city.
But the city was taking its toll on him. And after Monty went belly up, David had sworn off sitcoms.
And in fact, when the role of Ross came up, you were like, no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm never doing this again. So I went back to Chicago to do theater. And while I was there, I got the call about, you know, from my agent who said, well, I know you don't want to do another TV show, but there's a show, and she used this key word that got me, which was it's an ensemble show. Like your theater company, it's an ensemble. Just take a look. And I was like, all right, I'll take a look.
After that ensemble had proven itself as a must-see TV mainstay, it had bargaining power.
All right, I want my monkey.
But early on, Schwimmer was the first cast member to emerge as a star on his own. Movies, magazines, and a chance at big money.
It was made clear to me that I could go back in and renegotiate for a higher salary than some of the other actors on the show. And it was at that point that I just thought, well, that's ridiculous, because all of us are showing up for the same amount of work, for the same amount, everyone's giving 100%. It's an ensemble show, and we all decided, look, let's just be paid equally, no matter what. Let's all try to get as much as we can, but we're all here doing the same amount of work, and we're all equals, so let's do this together.
Using the litigious laurels he gleaned from his parents, David led the way as the cast of Friends ultimately negotiated a deal for $1 million per episode, each. After all, that's what friends are for.
You've got a friend in me.
We were like 6 pieces of a puzzle that just felt like, okay, this works. And that is just chance.
From the top.
But as they like to say in Hollywood, what he really wants to do is direct.
Action.
David's already been at the helm for 9 episodes of Friends, a smattering of independent films, and rumor has it he's already signed on to direct an episode of the Friends spinoff, Joey, for his pal Matt LeBlanc. Of course, at 37, he won't rule out taking another acting gig if the right one comes along.
Do you worry about always being typecast as Ross?
Sure.
Do you ever think you should call up Henry Winkler and say?
You know, I think of Henry. Then I think, you know, Woody Harrelson on Cheers. After that, he did one movie, Natural Born Killers, in which he played, you know, a psychotic murderer that just allowed people to imagine him in another light. And I think for some people, it's just the opportunity to demonstrate range.
Are you itching to play a psychotic killer, perhaps?
I'm not itching to play a psychotic killer. I'm certainly open to it.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be nice to play somebody polar opposite.
Yeah.
You know, who wasn't lovable, neurotic, and geeky, but who was, I don't know.
Psychotic, lovable, and geeky.
Coming up, the Friends family tree. Could it be more complicated?
Is that something that...
And later, Katie, Matt, and friends remember when they all first met.
When you look back at that, what goes through your mind, Matt?
Your hair. All my hair, actually.
Oh, jeez. That is a different phone. Oh, is it? Is it? Well, somebody's actually here. Let me call you right back. I'm doing a scene.
Farewell to Friends. Tonight's Dateline special continues.
In the beginning, there were just 6, but over 10 seasons, the Friends family tree has grown. Here's a look at some of the twisted branches. Let's start with brother and sister, Monica and Ross Geller. Mom and Dad have been there since season 1, Jack and Judy Geller, played by Elliot Gould and Christina Pickles. Then there's sexy cousin Cassie, Denise Richards, who drove Chandler crazy and made Monica jealous.
So you ready to go?
Yeah.
Chandler.
I'll be right with you.
In season 7, Monica married Chandler Bing. This season, they're adopting a baby.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just weird, you know? It's like, hi, I'm Chandler. May I have the human growing inside you?
Things get a little more complicated on the Ross Geller side. There's ex-wife number 1, Carol, and Carol's lesbian wife, Susan, and Ben, the boy Carol had with Ross, but raises with Susan. Don't forget Emily, Ross's ex-wife number 2, and Emma, the daughter he had with Rachel. She married Ross in Vegas, but got a quickie divorce.
Hello, Mrs. Ross.
Hello, Mr. Rachel. Okay.
We've also met Rachel's mom and dad, Marlo Thomas and Ron Liebman, as Sandra and Leonard Green. In season 6, they cut off all money to Rachel's little sister Jill, played by Reese Witherspoon. So she moved to New York and briefly dated Ross. This season, Rachel's other sister Amy, Christina Applegate, babysat for little Emma and pierced the baby's ears.
Ta-da! You pierced her ears? Doesn't it make her nose look smaller?
That's enough to make Phoebe's family life seem pretty simple. Just a few seasons ago, she rediscovered her dad, Frank, played by Bob Balaban, and then found out her real mother was a woman named Phoebe Sr., guest star Terry Garr.
You walked out on me, and I'm going to do the same to you. Wait. Okay. I don't ever want to see you again. Where's my purse?
There's also Phoebe's famous twin sister, Ursula, the waitress, and half-brother Frank Jr. He and his wife Alice used Phoebe as a surrogate mom. They had triplets, Leslie, Chandler, and Frank Jr. Jr. Phoebe also has an ex-husband, Duncan, and this final season, a new husband, Mike.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
We met Joey's parents, Brenda Vaccaro and Robert Costanzo, back in 1994. Grandma Tribbiani has dropped by to watch TV with Joey, who also has 7 sisters. Chandler kissed one in season 3, but forgot just which one and made everybody mad.
This is so bad. If you're not Mary Angela, then who is?
I am.
Oh, it's so bad. Joey! No, Joey!
Which leaves us finally with Chandler Bing's family tree. There's Monica, of course, and the new baby. But don't forget Chandler's mom, Morgan Fairchild, as steamy romance novelist Nora Bing. She kissed Ross in season 1. And how could we ever forget Chandler's father, Charles Bing? Actually, guest star Kathleen Turner. Charles is the cross-dressing star of an all-male casino revue called Viva Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the incomparable Helena Handbasket.
Hello, Tons.
And there's Daddy.
They say you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Unless, of course, your friends become your family. Then watch out. It all gets very complicated.
Coming up, the ditzy blonde, who is anything but.
Cow in the meadow goes moo. Then the farmer hits him on the head and chops him up, and that's how we get hamburger.
Life is Phoebe, and life is Lisa Kudrow.
What more do you want?
We want the last 6 years! This is what I'm looking at. What more do you want?
She's the graduate of an exclusive college, and her big dream was to go into medical research. That doesn't sound anything like Phoebe Buffay, but that is Lisa Kudrow. There are lots of surprises in her past, but the biggest surprise for Lisa is the life she lives today.
I was not a class clown type. I would do it when it was appropriate, you know. I would take a play production class where we could write sketches. And at slumber parties, I was a riot. And those were my gigs.
Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Everybody!
She's the somewhat musical, somewhat spaced out member of the gang.
Oh, I knew something had to be wrong because my fingernails did not grow at all yesterday.
And for Lisa Kudrow, playing Phoebe Buffet has been quite a ride. Can you describe at all what it was like to take that ride? That initial kind of launch?
To me, it felt a lot like being on a roller coaster and you're making that climb. I've spent a lot of time bracing myself for the drop. And there hasn't really been a drop for the show, or for me personally.
Has anybody seen my engagement ring?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Still, it's been an unusual trip to the top for Lisa.
Okay, now I'm gonna kick some ass!
For a long time, being an actress was the last thing on her mind. Her dad was a neurologist in L.A., and Lisa wanted to follow in his footsteps. So, what was your view on acting as you were a young girl?
Oh, I didn't think much of it. I thought, you know, actors are riffraff.
Didn't you say you thought they were dumb?
Yeah, I thought they were dumb. I'd see them on talk shows. I'd, you know, read the stories about, you know, marriages breaking up and all kinds of problems all the time and just thought, wow, I don't want to be part of that group.
Lisa went to Vassar and majored in biology, but she acted in school plays and started to get the bug.
I would just get these feelings of, yeah, I could do that acting. I could do it. I could do that comedic acting. You'd be good. All right, stop. These are just like this little argument in my head. All right, but stop. Go back to school and be a person that you could, you know, have some respect for.
After she graduated from Vassar in 1985, a friend of her brother's, comedian John Lovitz, pushed Lisa to join the famous L.A. comic troupe, The Groundlings. They accepted her after 2 auditions, and Lisa Kudrow's acting career was officially underway.
How you doing?
Her big TV break came 4 years later, the role of Ursula the waitress on Mad About You.
Is there any way that I could get half a dinner salad? What do you mean, like half?
That led to what was supposed to be her biggest break, a job with a new sitcom called Frasier. You actually were offered the role of Roz on Frasier.
Right.
Got the part.
Yeah.
And then they changed their minds.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fired before we shot the pilot.
They said it wasn't you. They said you were great. But they always say that, though. But we're going in a different direction with the character.
Right, yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah, it's all right. I was really disappointed, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Because just a year later, she read for a role in another new show, then titled Friends Like Us. This time, she got the part for real.
No, don't. Stop cleansing my aura. No, just leave my aura alone, okay?
Fine, be murky.
But Lisa was still playing Ursula on Mad About You. So, in a TV first, the writers made the characters twin sisters.
You're a twin?
Oh, yeah, we don't speak. She's like this high-powered, driven career type.
What does she do?
She's a waitress.
Along with success in Friends, Lisa's also done a string of well-received movies, including the comedy hits Analyze This.
Oh, you know what? This is like the cutest we've ever looked.
And Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Not bad for someone who wanted to be a scientist. Maybe thanks to that non-showbiz background, 40-year-old Lisa seems to have a good handle on dealing with fame and Hollywood. Her private life with her husband, ad executive Michael Stern, and their son Julian stays private. She says they will be her main focus now. What are your hopes for the first year after Friends?
My hopes are to be doing, you know, that great independent film here or there, so that I also have time to, you know, be an involved parent with my son's school. That's what
So now it's been actress and mom, and you want it to be mom and actress?
Uh-huh.
Are you in there, little fetus? In 9 months, will you come greet us?
Lisa also has her own TV production company called Is or Isn't Entertainment. But friends, she knows, will always be a big part of her life, no matter what she does from here on out.
Hey, Phoebe, you want to help?
Oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to.
Do you see a time where people will hear your name and they'll say, oh, she's the one who was fabulous in X movie or Y movie, and not immediately say Phoebe from Friends?
No, I think it's pretty much going to be Friends.
That's okay with you?
My career. Yeah. Why not? Nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it's, you know, it's a great thing.
I'm in the shower and I'm writing a song.
The moments Lisa says she'll always remember from her Friends' career are those wonderful songs she got to sing.
Lather, rinse, repeat, and lather, rinse, repeat, and lather, rinse, repeat, as needed.
Is there a particular Phoebe song that after 10 years still sticks in your mind?
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Tell me one. Give me one.
One of them?
Yeah.
The cow in the meadow goes moo. Oh, the cow in the meadow goes moo. Oh, no, that's not it. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's it. I'm sorry.
How does it go from there?
Oh, the cow in the meadow goes moo. Oh, the cow in the meadow goes moo. Then the
farmer knocks him on the head and chops him up.
and that's how we get hamburgers.
I like that one.
So you hum that to your son? Is that the one?
I did sing it to him once, and he was, all right.
He had nightmares for 3 weeks.
Coming up, Katie goes behind the scenes. And later, the stars recall their favorite moments.
The one with all the poker.
Oh, look at Randy!
The one with the black end.
When our farewell to Friends continues. A Farewell to Friends, our Dateline special continues.
It looked like a 6th floor walk-up, but it was really just 2 steps off the studio floor. Monica's apartment started as number 5 and one day turned to 20. Just some of the many secrets known to the army of people backstage at Friends. They gave the character style, some funky bachelor pads, and some very trendy threads. Lisa Kudrow sent me off on a tour of the scene behind the scenes at Friends. So here we are, Lisa.
Yes.
Where it all began, where it will all soon end.
This is where we do our group huddle, by the way.
You do?
Yeah.
Call them superstitious, but for a decade, the cast would huddle up for a little backstage bonding before they'd film each week's show. No crew or cameras allowed.
So what do you say in your group huddle, or is it top secret? Like,
It's
you the
top
woman?
secret. No, it's a great show, and it's going to be good, and it's just a moment to connect with each of us, and we each have a moment, and then we go out.
And then you put your hands on top of each other
No,
and go, woo!
No, the guys have an extra something. I don't know what it is. Not tickling. I'm doing like a tickle. Mine, but it's not.
They do like...
Yeah, no, they don't. I don't know. Like, yeah, I guess it's like, I don't know.
I think you're going to take me to wardrobe.
Yeah, I'll take you to wardrobe.
Okay.
And this is Deborah McGuire.
Hey, Deborah, how are you?
Talk about a dream job.
A lot of clothes in here.
A clothes horse could go crazy in here.
This is Jennifer's wardrobe that we set for the week.
Deborah McGuire's been dressing up the cast of Friends since day one.
In the beginning, I made a lot of the clothes, most of the clothes.
You did?
Yeah.
And her trendy threads helped set the 20-somethings fashion agenda for a decade.
But are those Uggs?
Those are Uggs.
Those
and
are sort of fancy Uggs.
They're fancy
You
Uggs.
can't find them on the website.
No,
You can't
they're
find
gone.
them. I've got a good connection.
Do you?
Yeah. Do you like my shoes, by the way?
On my next stop, I took those 5 flights of steps like they were nothing.
Jeez, why'd you make this apartment on the 5th floor after all?
It's
Hi,
amazing
how are
who you meet in the stairwell. Welcome to our house in New York.
And
our
you're
apartment.
John?
I'm John Schaffner, production designer.
Nice to see you, John.
John Schaffner modeled Monica's apartment after his own when he lived in New York, so it was old hat when the studio gave him a shoestring budget.
Well, I mean, it's a walk-up. It did belong to Monica's grandmother, rent control, you know. There used to be a wall right here. You see, these are the old beams.
Right.
But a designer's work is never done. The The downside is Schaffner would typically have less than a week to build new sets like this English wedding suite or this Vegas casino. The upside is he gets a peek at the script before anyone else, even the one for that coveted final episode.
I'm in a situation
You know
now
how
where
the show's going to end?
there's going to be a beautiful view out of one of the windows in a hotel room.
Woo! How exciting. Come on.
But once the sets are built, someone's got to decorate them.
Lots of tchotchkes.
Lots of tchotchkes.
Enter Greg Grande, set decorator extraordinaire, the guy who kept Joey comfy.
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff.
Made Monica meticulous.
Look at this pottery barn.
And in one episode, made Phoebe flip.
Oh my God, this is where you got all our stuff? Pottery barn, oh my God!
For all 236 episodes, Grande's job was to fill every frame, even this one.
That actually was a mistake. It was a picture frame, and found it at a craft fair, and that broke. So I told my crew, why don't you try it on the people? And it became, you know, a whole thing.
But perhaps the best job belongs to this guy, and he's aptly named the best boy.
This is Paul Swain. Paul, who'd have thunk it? You have become famous for a very funny reason, haven't you?
Well, I don't know if I've actually received fame over it, but...
Well, your work has become famous.
Yeah,
let's put it that way.
It definitely gets noticed.
Swain's in charge of this playful prop, Joey's Magnadoodle.
We have a camera right over here that's looking straight down the pike, and generally you carry the people in the door, and there it is.
You guys!
So it would, therefore, it'd always get coverage.
Hi, Chandler. Hey.
He's made sure there's been a different doodle every week. And believe it or not, Friends fanatics actually notice.
When Friends may or may not have come back last year, they were looking for hidden meanings being given through the Magnadoodle. Is it going to come back? Is it going to be a 10th season?
These people need a hobby.
You want to try a Magnadoodle?
Well,
you want to do one?
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Do Matt Lauer a bust of Matt.
Here's your roll jacket, collar, tie, no. I'm going to pay for that.
Coming up, Joey, the lovable stud, moving on to his own show.
Think you're going to have any guest shots from any Friends cast members?
I would love it. What about you? You want to come be on the show?
Sure.
Matt LeBlanc, flying solo.
I got it, Rach, okay? Let's start sailing. And I want to go over there to that boatload of girls.
Oh, okay. Is that what you want to do?
I don't want to go,
In TV terms, jumping the shark is that definitive moment when your favorite show is starting to tank. The expression comes from Fonzie's water skiing stunt on Happy Days. Well, arguably, Friends never took that plunge. So now that Matt LeBlanc is taking Joey into Spinoff City, is he worried he'll be in over his head?
I loved it when Fonzie jumped the shark. I don't know. I was like, oh, I hope he makes it. You know, I was little, but I bought the whole thing. I'm a sucker.
I'll kick that door in if you give me a little sugar.
There's one in every group.
All right, now remember, something this big and long is going to be very difficult to maneuver. Fortunately, I have a lot of experience in that area.
The oversexed, undereducated hunk.
I got 2 words for you. Threesome.
Joey Tribbiani is a man of very few words.
Oh.
And even fewer thoughts.
Turns out I don't have as many thoughts as you think.
But he's always had a lot of heart. And this fall, Joey will be dropping everything and heading out west to jumpstart his acting career. Fortunately for Matt LeBlanc, he can relate.
I was in, the construction game. That's what everybody in my neighborhood did. Everybody had some type of, trade. That's what you did.
He graduated from high school in Newton, Massachusetts with a union card in one hand and a hammer in the other. And after briefly studying construction technology in college, Matt took a friend's advice and pointed his pickup and his pecs toward the Big Apple.
First, it's such a lame story. It's very Joey, the story, actually. So I went to New York to see about modeling and realized I was just way too short. So, you need to be a big, tall guy.
How tall are you?
I'm like, 5'8",
5'10" and a half, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, which really means 5'8".
Yeah, no, I'm 5'10" and a half.
Okay, sorry. Men and their height.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Schwimmer and Perry are both taller than me. They're both like an inch or two taller than me, so I've had this short complex for 10 years now, so it's a sensitive subject.
Okay, I'm sorry. But his charm and good looks more than made up for his stunted growth. In fact, they not only got him work, they got him room and board. Legend has it, Matt, that you seduced a couple of flight attendants and convinced them to take you in. Is this true?
God, where'd you get all this stuff?
I went into the Matt LeBlanc archives.
I answered an ad in the Village Voice. I hope they see this. This will be funny. I answered an ad in the Village Voice, you know, looking for a roommate, and it was these two English stewardesses that flew for Saudi Arabian, of all airlines, Saudi Arabian Airlines. And they shared one bedroom, and there's the other bedroom for rent. And I told them I had this $3,000, right? I told them I was a trust fund kid and money wasn't. I just absolutely bull-blanked my way into it.
He didn't need sweet talk to get gigs. Pretty soon, everyone from Coca-Cola to Fruit and Fiber came a-calling.
That was a cool part of my life. I was doing commercial auditions during the day and working in a restaurant at night.
What restaurant?
Fat Burger. There's one in New York. And I think I single-handedly put it out of business. Yeah.
Little did he know he'd be working with condiments again when he got his big break. This Heinz ketchup commercial.
Hot dog, please.
Hey, mustard on that or what?
No thanks.
Could you reenact it for me today?
It was that one, there's a guy up on the roof, it was me, and he had the bottle and put on the edge of the roof, took the cap off and put a brick on, and then ran down the stairs and took his time and everything, slid down the railing and got a hot dog at the hot dog stand and kind of like held it behind my back, and the ketchup pours so slowly and it's so thick and delicious, huh? Maybe I do part two, a sequel. I'm looking for a sequel now.
Yeah.
And it just would land on the hot dog, bite, wink at the girl, and it was nice. Yeah, it ran for like 4 years and paid my rent for 4 years. It was great.
That led to his first TV series for CBS, TV 101.
So shut up before I stomp your face.
But TV 101 never made it to TV 102 and was canceled after 18 weeks. So what was life like after that show bombed?
A lot of free time. Did the whole struggling actor thing, building a background for Joey, you know.
And tell me how the whole Friends thing came to you.
Got the call about an audition for a show to play this Italian actor, kind of chauvinist womanizer guy in New York. I said, no, okay, I know a bunch of guys like that.
You know a bunch of guys like that?
Yeah, exactly. I know a bunch. I knew a couple, you know, in passing.
You like this woman, right?
Well, yeah.
You want to see her again, right?
Sure.
Well, if you can't talk dirty to me, how are you going to talk dirty to her? Now tell me you want to caress my butt.
Why do you think Joey's character was so appealing to people? You know, why do you think he was so likable? I mean, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed,
he's not.
Matt.
I think he's an innocent, you know. I think he's really, you know, he's one of those, he just really believes in what he believes in, you know, and he kind of wears his heart on his sleeve, he doesn't lie. He's just a, you know, front to back, top to bottom, a good guy.
Rolling!
Joey, the only Friends spinoff, will keep 36-year-old Matt LeBlanc in character for the foreseeable future. Good thing, since he has an ever-expanding family to support. Matt and his wife, Melissa McKnight, were married 1 year ago this week. She has 2 children from a previous marriage, and just this past February, Matt and Melissa welcomed their first child, Marina Pearl. And Matt says the best thing about knowing he'll be back here working on Stage 24 every day is knowing where he'll be going every night.
I really like the half-hour comedy, I really do. You know, I know people that are in movies all the time, and they, you know, they don't see their families as much, and it takes its toll over time, and I don't want to be one of those families. I want to sleep in my own bed every night. I want to, you know, help the kids with the homework, and I like that. That's fun.
Of course, if any other friends feel like dropping by the Joey set, well, that's fine by him.
If your friends are there, then everything's alright.
Think you're going to have any guest shots from any Friends cast members?
I would love it. What about you? You want to come be on the show?
Sure.
Not a reporter, though. We'll change it up.
Okay, good. A stripper. Yeah, that works for me.
Coming up, happy endings for Monica and the woman who made her what she is.
I just feel like everything's really right where it's supposed to be.
How art imitated life for Courtney Cox Arquette. Plus, classic outtakes.
What about friends of your grandmother? I mean, Phoebe, what about friends of your grandmother's? I can't. I know. Phoebe, what about friends of your grandmom? Doesn't they?
A Farewell to Friends continues. Here again is Matt Lauer.
When Friends debuted 10 years ago, Courtney Cox Arquette was the only well-known star. She'd done commercials, a TV series, and of course, that famous music video with the boss. Courtney knew all about fame, but she didn't know how close her real life and her friend's TV life would turn out to be.
I'm much more of a realist, and I'm really practical. I'm the kind of person that still to this day, like, calls my business manager and says, okay, if it were all to end today, how many months do I have to live?
Say you're sorry! No!
For 10 years, Monica Geller has been the tough and practical den mother on Friends, the one who had to be the best at just about everything.
You're the best.
No, you're the best.
I am the best.
She's been the perfect fit for Courtney Cox, though, as you'll see in a minute, maybe a little too perfect. When you started to think about becoming an actor, did you have dreams of being Lucy or Meryl Streep? I mean, did you want to do comedy or did you want to do drama?
That's interesting. I would probably say I identified more with drama. I'm a really emotional, sensitive person. And I'm really family-minded, and I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and I have 9 stepbrothers and sisters, and I don't know. I just feel really, I love drama. I just really do.
Courtney grew up with all that family in Birmingham, Alabama. She studied architecture, not acting, in college. But then this self-described practical person took a shot. She moved to New York, got into modeling, and soon starred in commercials, like this one for Noxzema.
And when my skin looks better, I feel better about everything. It's that simple.
Soon, she was making advertising history.
I'm the first girl to say the word period on television.
Does your life change once a month because of your period?
It was this ad for Tampax in 1984, the first national commercial to use the word period.
Okay, first of all, you do a commercial, and what you want is a national commercial, because that's what pays. That gives you like $20,000 for the year or something.
Remember, there's a feeling with Tampax. It can actually change the way you feel about your period. I don't know if you business, economic, yuppie, Republican overachievers have any feelings to get in touch with. Oh.
Producers of Friends remembered that when it came time to cast their show. Only problem, they wanted her for the role of Rachel. Courtney had other ideas. And you came in here basically and had read the parts, and you said, pardon me, but you're wrong. I'm Monica. I should be Monica, which takes a lot of guts.
I mean, I guess I like the fact that she was strong. I like the fact that she just wasn't, you know, your typical girl, and I really thought that I should be Monica. I really did.
Why not
now, I don't
Rachel?
know. I know. I wonder if I made a huge mistake now.
It's worked out pretty well, by the way.
You think you knew I was here?
Even though sometimes Courtney's real life has been a painful echo of Monica's TV life. While Monica was battling with her boyfriend Chandler.
Will Chandler have sex tonight? Don't count on it.
Courtney's off-camera life was a challenge too. She'd fallen in love with David Arquette, her co-star in the wildly successful Scream movies.
Hi, Gail Weathers, field correspondent, Top Story.
I know who you are, Miss Weathers.
But David was wild himself. Courtney had to play a tough Monica-style den mother in real life.
Well, of course.
He was having some difficulties with substance abuse. He said to you at one point, look, commit to me and you'll see the real man that I am. And you said, show me the real man you are, and then I'll commit to you.
Yeah.
You really didn't want to you didn't have a leap of faith. You wanted to see...
I would not be good with someone who did drugs. And as long as I know something, I can deal with anything. I'm really good, but what I'm not good with is inconsistency, and I'm not good with not knowing.
You basically sat down, you had some kind of rules sessions in your marriage. You said basically...
Oh, there will be no drugs.
David agreed, and they got married in 1999, a marriage that has since survived perhaps one of the toughest challenges for any couple.
Is there a problem? Is there a problem with me or with you?
For the last 2 seasons on Friends, Monica and Chandler have struggled to have a baby.
But there's a good chance this may never happen for us.
Oh my God.
For more than 2 years, so have Courtney and David.
Tell me your thoughts, Courtney, when you realized this was not going to be a snap for you and David like it is seemingly for so many people and so many couples.
Well, it was really weird because everyone in my family has kids. I mean, they pop out like it's nobody's business. Everyone has never had a problem in my family. No one has. So to me, I thought this would not be a problem at all.
But it was a problem. After several miscarriages, Courtney learned she had a rare antibody in her blood that would attack the fetus.
So you could get pregnant.
I could get pregnant really easily.
Retain a pregnancy.
Exactly. So now I decided to do in vitro, and I did that twice, and then give myself shots of heparin every day, and that's a blood thinner. Take a baby aspirin.
During this entire time, her job was to make other people laugh.
Why is he still crying?
How do you come to work and be funny?
That was hard. Sometimes, like, I remember one time I just had a miscarriage, and Rachel was giving birth. It was like the same time. Oh my God, it was terrible having to be funny.
If you look at some of those episodes, do you think you can tell that something was troubling you?
Probably, yeah. I bet I could.
You could, or the audience could?
Hopefully just me. I think. I faked it pretty well, I think.
She doesn't have to fake it anymore. Courtney Cox is pregnant. The baby is due next month. She's a working, expectant mother. Courtney and husband David produce Mix It Up for the Women's Entertainment Cable Network. The show uses Courtney's old architecture and design background to help newlyweds move into their first house together. For 10 years, Courtney Cox and Monica Geller have struggled together with life and love. Now, on TV and in real life, everything seems to be falling into place.
As you now prepare to put Friends into the past, what are you most afraid of?
I don't think I'm afraid of anything right now. This June is going to be a really big month for me. My 5-year anniversary, turning 40, have a baby, due in June. And I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like everything's really right where it's supposed to be.
Coming up, they were the band that brought Friends to life. Plus, the cast of Friends reliving the laughter.
All right, Joey's going to catch it, and you and I are going to block. Let's block. Phoebe, I thought you said you knew what you were doing. I thought you meant in life. Break.
A farewell to Friends. Tonight's Dateline special continues.
We all remember the song.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Your job's a joke, you broke.
Love like
your way.
But do you remember the band? The Rembrandts first began ushering in Thursday nights 10 years ago with their power pop anthem, I'll Be There For You. So where exactly have they been?
We just spent 2 years on the road, you know, in I'll Be There For You land. And we were there for everyone, I might add.
But lest you think the Rembrandts were a one-hit wonder, take a look back to 1990, 4 years before Friends, when Danny Wilde and Phil Solem were already on a roll, thanks to their top 20 hit, Just the Way It Is, Baby.
That's just the way it is, baby.
Action.
They had recorded 2 more CDs by the time Kevin Bright, the creator of a soon-to-be-seen sitcom, tapped them for a theme song.
I remember scrambling trying to write the ultimate theme song.
We were given a pilot of the show, and I think the temp track in there was the R.E.M. End of the World as We Know It. And
Yeah,
they go,
so they wanted
here's
something like that.
I'll Be There For You put the Rembrandts in high gear. The song became a sensation, staying at #1 for 8 weeks.
We went from who to what?
Danny and Phil suddenly had more friends than they knew how to handle. But their mega-selling success was short-lived. And within 2 years, the Rembrandts were DOA.
There were points that, I mean, you know, I can't lie to you, that Phil and I felt like, well, wait, what about all our other music, you know? It's a song that's put us over the top, and it's a phenomenon, you know? It's basically transcended everything else we've done, and you know, looking back, I think it's really a great thing, you know? Put the kids through college, too, I might add.
After a 4-year breakup, the Rembrandts reunited in 2001 and expect to release new material sometime this year, knowing full well they can't ever really replicate the Friends firestorm.
That's just the way it is, Katie.
But thanks to syndication, this Rembrandts original will be there for everyone in TV immortality.
I don't think it's really ever the end. I mean, because the song, the show, and everything, it's like styrofoam. It's, you know, non-biodegradable. It'll be around forever.
Coming up, the road to stardom. Think it's easy?
I did a pilot called LAX-24, which was about baggage handlers, and I was wearing a futuristic shirt and sorting out aliens' luggage.
Life Before Friends with Matthew Perry.
Look, I didn't read the box before I opened the box, and you can't send the box back before you've opened the box. That's not right. I bought it.
You can understand why people confuse Matthew Perry with his character Chandler Bing. There's a heavy dose of Matthew in Chandler. The wise guy attitude, the nervous energy, the unsinkable sense of humor. But now that he's saying goodbye to Friends, Matthew admits there are times he just wants to chuck his inner good humor man and just get, well, real.
I've always wanted to go on the Tonight Show, and Jay says, "So how you doing?" I go, not good. And just like really just like tell the truth, or like even
or do something, yeah.
To tell you the truth, Jay, I have no idea which end is up and down in my life anymore.
After 10 years of interviews about Friends, who could blame Matthew Perry for wanting to shake things up?
Mine is the red one.
I would think one of the best things about ending this chapter and saying goodbye to Friends is you don't have to be interviewed by people like me anymore.
Oh, no. In fact, this is the first time you and I have done a one-on-one interview.
That's true.
I'm all at Twitter.
I'm sure you are.
Thanks.
Do I detect a little sarcasm?
Okay, I don't sound like that. That is so not true.
On Friends, Chandler's speak was a dialect all its own.
Could there be more Kims?
Often imitated.
Look at me. I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
But never duplicated.
Ooh, I'm alive with pleasure now.
How much, Matthew, are you like Chandler Bing?
Yes.
You've never been asked that before, have you?
No. And I have the standard joke for it, which is
go ahead,
I look
give
a
it
lot
to
like
me.
him.
Oh, that's
That's
funny.
what I say to that.
If it seems Matthew Perry's always going for a laugh, it's because he's used to getting them, and has been, ever since he was 6.
You know, when you get your first laugh, like when I'm 6 years old, and I pretend to fall down, and people laugh, and just something tingles in your brain, and you're like, ooh, I want more of this. And if there's any way to get paid doing it, wow.
Yeah.
Utopia, you know.
But his childhood was far from perfect. Matthew, an only child, was born in Massachusetts, then raised in Canada by his single mother, Suzanne.
Your parents got divorced when you were quite young, when you were just 1,
I was
right?
1, yeah, so I didn't blame myself quite yet. But,
Still, Matthew idolized his father, John Bennett Perry, a working actor who would call his son long distance when he was a part of some must-see TV.
That was mostly the way that I saw my father when I was young, was like on TV shows and, you know, getting shot through a door on Mannix or something. Like, that's my dad.
Come on.
That's his dad, too, the Studley sailor in those Old Spice commercials.
He's very attractive, by the way.
Yeah,
Notice the father-son thing. And
you saw the people
sexiest.
thing. That was one of the best moments I've ever had.
Really? Why?
Yeah, just because I get to show up to that photo shoot with my father, and he and I really enjoy sharing time, and it's just so corny and sexy. It's father and son.
Well, I have to tell you, your dad is hot.
Okay. I've been hearing that my whole life.
When he was 16, Matthew moved to Hollywood, hoping a little more than the smell of his father's cologne would rub off on him.
I did a pilot called LAX-24, which was about baggage handlers in
Futuristic.
in the year 2194 at LAX.
God, I love my life.
Now that sounds riveting.
Yeah, and I was wearing a futuristic shirt
I'm not gonna let some government agency
and
screw up my life. I can do that.
sorting out aliens' luggage. That's what the show was.
I'm so shocked it wasn't a hit.
Yeah, well, thank God, because if it had gotten picked up, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
Art was about to imitate life. In creating his alter ego Chandler, Kevin Bright, Marta Kaufman, and David Crane asked Matthew Perry to just be himself.
Too many jokes. Must mock Joey.
And what they did was they took all of us out to lunch separately and said, "Tell us about your lives. I mean, we know you can act and you've got this part, and just tell us a little bit about yourself." And I remember saying two things. I said, well, I'm not an unattractive man, but I do I'm just awful with women and have really bad relationship problems, and I'm scared to ask people out on dates, and, you know, that's kind of a character you haven't seen before.
I've scared you. I've said too much. I'm hopeless and awkward and desperate for love.
And I also am not comfortable in any silence at all at the time. This is 10 years ago. But let me keep talking so there's no silence.
Did you tell him you were a bit of a wiseacre?
Yeah, I told them that, but I said, I have to break any awkward moment or any silences with a joke. And what better character for a sitcom is that? It's a built-in excuse for him to be funny.
Hey, Chandler, when you see Frankie, tell him Joey Tribbiani says hello. He'll know what it means.
You sure he's going to be able to crack that code?
I wanted this, and, you know, of course it wasn't what I expected it to be.
What you expected it to be?
I expected it to just be that everything was going to be okay now. Because I spent like 5 years complaining, like, if I just got a job where I could express myself creatively, and like all those dramatic talks that you're saying to women to try to
score,
take them home, and you don't really mean. No. And then I got it, and then for about 8 months I was just thrilled. Like I would go to like the Beverly Center and like walk around and like, yep.
See if anybody.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like I was
so
really.
Sad.
Oh, it's so sad. It's awful.
He might have felt comfortable in the white-hot spotlight of Friends, but by the show's 5th season, Matthew Perry was feeling more and more uncomfortable in his own skin.
It was great for 8 months. And then he kind of realized, no, in reality, same issues are coming up. And somebody smart once told me that it was like my fantasies had come true, not my dreams had come true. And I think that's what it was.
But 1997 seemed more like a nightmare. That was the year Matthew Perry checked himself into rehab for addiction to prescription pills. And he continued to battle addiction until 2001. Now, at 34, Perry says he's clean.
You have to get scared enough. That's the thing. You have to get scared enough to realize the expression that's commonly used is like you have a drink in front of you and you don't know what's going to happen if you finish it, and you don't know what's going to happen if you don't. You know, it's like in that moment where you get so scared that you just ask for help. You know, and it's tough to do without fully bottoming out, which I was lucky. I kind of health-wise almost and spiritually bottomed out, but you know, I didn't lose everything.
You feel great now.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little trepidatious about the future and, you know, what's in store business-wise, I suppose.
Yeah, are you scared?
But I'm a little, see, I chose trepidatious.
Okay, sorry.
I'm trying to sound smart.
Use easier monosyllabic words.
I even put glasses on for this.
After Friends, you can still expect to see Matthew making occasional cameos on The West Wing. This spring, he co-stars in The Whole 10 Yards, and next year, he'll star in a movie with his dad. Yes, they're playing father and son. But if Matthew Perry is still trepidatious, here's why.
I've had 3 auditions in the last 10 years and gotten none of them. So
well, I think your
resume
is a little more impressive now than it was then.
This was during Friends, and they're like, no, thanks. I was just like, but people bring me soup where I work. Like, what do you mean? You say no to me? Nobody says no to me here. People bring me soup.
Coming up, with Friends coming to an end, what will Jennifer Aniston do with her free time?
I've see as much of the world as I can before I have a child.
So much for free time.
All right, well, I'll see if they can cancel it. Or maybe they can just put eyes on the hoochies and we'll say that it's... All right, well, I'll see if... All right, well, I'll just see if they can cancel it. Or maybe they can...
It's funny. I can't wait for you to hear it.
A Farewell to Friends continues.
She was raised around actors, but nothing prepared her for this. The role of Rachel turned Jennifer Aniston into one of the most famous faces around. There were times when she wanted no more of that fame or that role. But now, as Friends comes to a close, Jennifer says she's changed her mind.
I do know that funny was always good. It made everybody laugh. There was nothing wrong with that those moments coming up.
Come on, Ross, let's go have sex.
She's the sexy girl from the suburbs who's just a little bit spoiled.
Oh, wish me luck. What for? I'm gonna go get one of those job things.
Her stormy relationship with Ross is one of TV's longest-running romances.
You know, I can't believe I even thought of getting back together with you. We are so over.
Fine by me.
Over 10 seasons, Rachel Green has become America's sweetheart, and so has Jennifer Aniston, propelling her into a level of fame few ever reach. She and husband Brad Pitt are probably the country's most celebrated and sexy couple.
You think you're sexy?
Sometimes.
That's one
Not
of the
all
most.
the time.
That's one of the nicer answers I've gotten. Most people to me, they go, "No, God, no, not sexy at all." I mean, but clearly you're aware of the fact that, I mean, you're married to a guy that women think is outrageously sexy, and men think you are. So is that something that crosses your mind a lot?
We just sit there and are sexy together.
Quite the sexy couple.
No, we are such goobers. It's ridiculous. We're probably two of the unsexiest people on the planet most of the time.
She says fame sometimes shocks her. It's still hard to deal with, even for someone who grew up in a world of actors. For almost 20 years, Jennifer's father, John Aniston, played a rakish villain on the soap opera Days of Our Lives.
And Mrs. Victor Kyriakis.
My dad would have poker parties, you know, or holiday parties with his cast. And I didn't ever think about fame or at that point or anything like that. But yeah, I loved being around those people, those actor types.
That gave her the bug early. Jennifer went to New York's famed High School of Performing Arts, where she was the class clown. But her father never wanted her to stick with acting.
And so when you went in and said, you know what, I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to act. What was the reaction?
I think he made a face like that. And then he said, all right, I warned you. His main concern was my heartbreaking, because it can be so hard, you know, and painful, and, you know, rejection is not easy.
But it didn't take long for it to all start paying off.
And one more thing, Worm.
3 years after graduation in 1990, she was starring in the sitcom version of the hit movie Ferris Bueller.
See you around campus.
Her big chance came in 1994 when she got to audition for a pilot, Friends Like Us. Tell me what you remember about it.
I was sitting in the hallway, see Kevin Bright walk by, see all these kind of hippie type, like the Phoebe types that were in the waiting room. And I didn't see any Rachel types. And I walked in, did my audition, kind of felt like, I think wish I could have gone back. I should have done that differently, should have done this differently. And I got home, 2 hours later, I had gotten the job.
The only hitch, Jennifer was already cast in another new show, a comedy called Muddling Through.
He said, if you don't go out with me, I'm going to have to arrest my heart on a 402 Section C, because, darling, you got it doing 90 in a school zone.
She shot both sitcoms for a while, but that craziness didn't last. Muddling Through was canceled after 4 episodes. And, of course, Friends was not. It made her a star.
Oh, my God, Ross, no, hang up the phone. Give me the phone, Ross. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Give me the phone.
One measure of her celebrity, search for Jennifer Aniston on Google. You get about 716,000 hits.
When's the last time you Googled yourself?
I Googled myself?
You know what that
Google?
means?
Oh, you mean on the internet?
I hope I mean on the internet, yes.
I was like, I'm unsure of what you were asking me there.
Have you ever Googled yourself?
Well, you know. No, I haven't Googled myself. I've gone to the websites and seen all of that.
What do you think when you see that?
I think it's sort of funny. I mean, it's bizarre that there's all these people that create web. I mean, there's a lot of... That's surreal. Let's just say that. It's surreal.
Did you call me last night?
No, I don't think so.
A bunch of hit films, including this year's Along Came Polly, have only added to her celebrity.
Cute.
And then, well, she does have that famous husband.
You got married to a guy who wasn't a lawyer from Pasadena.
No.
I mean, you married Brad Pitt. How has it been handling the dual fame in your relationship?
It's a challenge. When you have that much energy coming at two people, whether it's wanting them to just fall apart or wanting them to be happy, it's hard. It can mess with your mind, and you just got to stay grounded.
She's looking forward to a break from the celebrity world once Friends is over. 35-year-old Jennifer has a couple of movie projects lined up, but says she just wants to relax and focus on family.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to see as much of the world as I can before I have a child. And then it's about family.
In fact, Jennifer admits for the first time that, at least for a while, she wanted to move on and be finished with Friends sooner rather than later.
Some people have said you were the one who needed convincing to come back for this final season.
Where are you reading that?
Someone said that they actually came to you and you were not sure that you could do another year of this.
Yeah. Sure. What the hell? Yeah, I was having I had a couple issues that I was dealing with. I wanted it to end where people still loved us and we were on a high. And then I also was feeling like, how much more of Rachel do I have in me? What more is there to tell? How many more stories are there to tell for all of us before we're just now pathetic, still living across from each other in our shared
54-year-old Rachel,
yeah.
right?
You know, now of course I'm just terrified. I don't want it to end at all.
Coming up, first impressions 10 years ago.
I thought he was so dang cute.
I was really nervous.
The stars of Friends. A classic moment that didn't air. Next, the stars' favorite moments.
Sit down with any group of people who've worked together for 10 years, and chances are you'll hear some pretty good stories. So imagine what the cast of Friends has to say.
We got together with all of them on the show's set, Stage 24 at Warner Brothers Studios. We talked about that first fateful meeting and the bittersweet moment when they'll say goodbye.
We all got together in a comfortable, familiar spot, the living room of Monica's apartment. Through the Today Show, Matt and I have charted the cast and their careers from the very beginning. So that's where we started.
It was back in 1994. The Today Show was doing a morning on the set of ER, and somebody suggested we mosey over to the next studio and talk to these young kids who were doing a new show called Friends. To refresh your memory and to remind us how bad my past hairstyles have been. We've got a little clip from that show, so let's take a look. You guys are having a good time, huh? Do you worry about staying power? I mean, I would think that getting there is one thing, and just worrying that you're going to be a flash-in-the-pan success. Is that something that concerns you, or are you just sort of enjoying things as they are right now?
Enjoying things, absolutely, but the work is important. You can't sort of get lazy and sort of sit back and say, hey, we're a hit, we're going to be fine. You know, got to keep up the
momentum.
The momentum and keep up the goods.
Anybody? Yeah, exactly. That's key. Anybody going to get together, like romantically?
Oh, right. What other news do you have for us?
I'll talk to you during the commercial.
Oh, you and me?
Yeah. Anyway. Wow.
How bizarre was that?
Slightly disturbing.
I mean, her hair. Isn't that weird?
I know, man. It was weird. Can we move on? But when you look back at that, what goes through your mind, Matt?
Your hair. All of our hair, actually.
Oh, jeez.
Crazy hair.
Let's talk about first day together. All right, you all come together. First time, was it a table read? Was that the first time you all saw each other?
Well, I remember meeting Jennifer and at the before the table read. We met at the when you read for the network.
With Maddie.
Yeah, the three of us, right? And I just remember thinking that Jennifer was so friendly and warm, and it was just nice to. She's just not competitive at all, just really sweet. And I had read with him, and I really wanted him to get the part because I thought he was so dang cute.
Yeah. When I first heard at the table reading and I heard everybody do their part, it was really fun. It was, oh my God, that's how it should sound. That's great. And for me, the biggest shock was Chandler, Matthew Perry doing Chandler. Because that's not how I read the script and I thought Chandler was the gay character of the show.
And your point?
Yeah. David, what do you remember about that first day?
I had a similar, I think, response.
I thought I was gay, too.
I was really nervous that day. I remember being really nervous.
Were you all really nervous?
Terrified.
Don't drop the ball. That was the whole thing, because the script was so great.
They didn't drop the ball. Friends was an instant hit, and the young cast became real friends, on and off stage. Soon they bonded even more when they agreed to negotiate their contracts with the studio together as a group, a TV first.
Not having that hanging over our heads that, oh, so-and-so is getting paid that much more than I am. I don't think we're the type, anyway, that would resent. But, you know, you never know. And so I think absolutely that did help.
A lot has been made over the years, and you've said it a bunch of times, that if during the course of the run of the show, if one of you had said enough, that probably would have spelled the end of the show. In year 5, if Matthew had come, Courtney, and said, you know what, folks, I've got another priority. I'm going to go off. Do you really think the show would have come to an end?
No. Sorry to answer for you.
No, Matthew, what did you say?
He said no.
Did you wish?
Volunteered that she wouldn't care if I was on the show.
But you would have gone on, wouldn't you have?
Well, I think that, to tell you the truth, they made it kind of clear that they would do the show with 4 of us and not all 6. I think I remember hearing that during negotiations and stuff. And I don't know if I guess that's just the truth. They could have done it with 4 friends.
But they stuck together in talks with the studio. Their salaries grew from a reported $22,000 an episode in the first season to $1 million an episode this year. No matter what the paycheck, they did 236 shows over 10 seasons. We all have our favorites. The cast does too.
Maybe it's like trying to pick the best meal you ever had, and maybe it's too hard to do. But Does one episode stand out for you all? Lisa, you're at least saying yes.
Yeah, I have one.
Good.
I'm happy that I can remember one. But I loved, and I didn't have much to do in that episode or with this part of it, but when the guys and the girls had this contest for who won this apartment.
Oh, yeah.
The lightning round begins. Stop it. Now, what was Monica's nickname when she was a field hockey goalie? Big fat goalie. Correct.
I like whenever we're doing competitive things. I liked Thanksgiving episode when we play football.
Phoebe, you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Joey's gonna catch it, and you and I are gonna block.
What's block?
Phoebe, I thought you said you knew what you were doing.
I thought you meant in life.
I really like the one Joey Chandler one episode, Never Get Out of the Barca Loungers.
Do we dare?
We dare. And remember in the beginning of that week, we were both like, we're reading it going, so we're in the chair the whole show? Are you crazy?
That's our story. What? You know? These guys are talking about like love and stuff, and we're like, we're in the chairs. You got a cheat on your face, man.
I like the episodes when it's all 6 of us in a room pretty much together. And one that comes to mind is the one with all the poker.
Okay, so at this point, the dealer...
All right, you know, we got it. Let's play for real, all right? High stakes, big bucks.
Now, you sure Phoebe just threw away 2 jacks because they didn't look happy?
The one that always stands out for me, because it was the moment that I realized that sort of magic was occurring here, and it was like the 6th episode we did or something. It was called the one with the black guy.
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, senior year of college on a pool table.
Ooh, that's my sister.
Okay. My weirdest place would have to be the women's room on the 2nd floor of the New York City Public Library.
Oh, my God. What were you doing in a library?
And Phoebes, what about you?
Oh, Milwaukee.
It's just, wow, this is magic. This is actually really what we all set out to try to do. And that's the first time I had that feeling.
That feeling continued for 10 seasons, but now it's coming to an end, and the cast has to deal with moving on, yet somehow staying friends.
As you head to that last night, Matt, what's going to be going through your mind?
Well, first of all, it's impossible to really be able to tell you, because I've never experienced anything like this.
Are you worried about not seeing everybody? Because no matter how many times you say to people, we'll stay in touch and we'll be together and we'll spend time, we'll schedule dinners, it's just going to be probably logistically really difficult. And Courtney, what will you do to stay in touch with everybody?
Assuming we want to.
Now the truth comes out. I mean, I know I'll see the girls. I think we make more of an effort as far as to see each other over the summer. Lisa comes to the beach with her son, and I hang out with Jennifer. I think that'll be easier. It's just they seem to travel a lot, the boys. I don't know how we hang out though, because we live pretty close and we double date. You two, I don't know. How are you going to keep up with you two?
I'll tell you what David and I are going to do.
You're going to be going to the beach together.
Yeah. All great sitcoms are usually about one big theme. MASH was about war. Seinfeld was about, well, nothing. For Friends, we read from something the cast had never seen before. That original pitch, written by the show's creators back in 1993.
It's about sex, love, relationship, careers, a time in your life when everything's possible, which is really exciting and really scary. It's about searching for love and commitment and security and the fear of love and commitment and security. It's about friendship, because when you're young and single in the city, your friends are your family.
God, they're good.
And that's
what I was going to say.
I'd have bought that.
Audiences bought it too, very happily. And for a decade, these friends have been like family.
Those characters we first let into our lives back in 1994 are older and wiser now. Most of them are married and moving on.
But every Thursday night for 10 years, they showed us that to laugh and to love, you just got to have friends.
Thanks for joining us tonight. For all of our friends at NBC News, good night.
Oh, well, it sounds...
You can see more outtakes on the latest releases of Friends on DVD.